It's like a really, really slow start.
How are we going to get deliveries up there?
Can't get traction.
It's literally being 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Feels like you're forever going to be in the mud.
The building platform up there is 17 metres above the road there. Hey, I'm Josh, a builder here in New Zealand, and this is the toughest building site I've ever taken on. All the way up the top of the section, we are building a 245 square metres home. This one is 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and a study. That's right, even without access, we have managed to pour a slab up the top. Words can't describe how pumped I am that we've finally done a slab. Today we're going to talk about how it took 10 months to go from earthworks to slab down. Now we can get on to the job of building the house.
It's like a really, really slow start. And then boom, a house.
Basically once we got a slab down, it just didn't stop, hey? Coming up, I'll walk you through the timeline of the build. I'll discuss some of the delays we encountered during that 10-month journey, and I'll show you how in the last 10 weeks the build has flown out of the ground. And stick around to the end of the video for a full tour of the house today. But first, let's head back to site. Welcome.
Thanks.
What do you think of this red door?
So cool.
Yeah, look how awesome the stairway is.
It's a real nice colour.
So we've got this huge big stairway.
27 steps.
27 steps. Jibs in. Pretty cool, eh? This one's like trucking along now. Isn't it crazy how quick it goes once we got a slab down? It just didn't stop, eh?
Well, as soon as a slab's down, it's just like you might as well be on a flat site and on the valley floor.
Yeah, but it's like frames up, roof on. It's awesome because it means we can do like 2 things at once.
So in terms of timeline, I mean, everyone wants a perfect Gantt chart that follows itself exactly, and we often would love to be able to give people that, but there is, with this site in particular, there was no way that we could give anyone certainty of what was going to happen until we had that slab down. We walked the site on the 14th of February 2024, and it was overgrown and grassy.
You came with me that day. What, do you remember it?
Yeah, well, it was Valentine's Day.
True. Hey, will you be my Valentine? I'm going to take romantic. 2 years to build a house here. I promise you it's not going to take 2 years. We're going to be in by this Christmas. I had to stand here. This was where we were, was like right on the edge of the bank.
Yeah.
And I had, just like you were good at visualizing rooms, I had to be like, can I see us building here?
I remember you saying then, it's going to be gnarly.
We had the surveyor here
in June.
Earthworks in July, and we started cutting the driveway, and that was when it got gnarly. So basically, real early on.
In the middle of winter, as usual.
Yeah. I think the hard thing is, we always say, man, we're going to start in summer or spring or whatever.
Yeah.
It just never happens.
Yeah.
We always say we're going to spread out all our jobs as well.
And they all cluster together.
Yeah. Lower slab, end of September. So that was pretty good, July to September.
Yeah.
But then we still didn't have access, we still had the failing retaining wall, and I think that's where the whole project ground to a halt. So from walking the land, 14th of February, Valentine's Day last year, to 14th of April this year, top slab got poured. Massive milestones. And then in 10% of the time, we've gone subfloor, frames, roof,
windows, cladding, jib,
Rondo, plumbing, drains getting sorted now. I think that like epitomizes a build, really, doesn't it, babe?
Yeah, it's like a really, really slow start. And it feels like you're forever going to be in the mud. And then boom, a house. So I've taken over asking for subscribers, and instead of asking for subscribers, I'm going to thank all our subscribers. You mean the world to us. Thank you so much for being part of the crew. As soon as we got a slab down, we could tell everyone this is when you are going to be on site and there is going to be something for you to do.
As soon as we start doing inside stuff, we're not at the whim of the weather either.
Yeah.
So we can get even more certainty on that timeline. And we know like a plasterer is going to take, give or take 7 days, and the painter is going to take 10 days. So as soon as we've got a floor down, as soon as we've got a structure, we can have a bit more certainty on the timeline because we can stand frames in the rain. We're working on a flat surface. While it's at planning and while it's at earthworks, there is so many moving pieces and so much uncertainty that you just have to put a best guess for everything. But I think that's important as well. If you want your timeline to be perfect, you're going to get bent out of shape. It reminds me of the quote, "Blessed are the flexible, for they will not be bent out of shape." And I think that's the key at planning and earthworks and foundation phase is you've got to be flexible. You've got to roll with the punches. You keep persevering, you just keep bumping the timeline. You just keep telling everyone, this is my best guess.
The builders had a brilliant idea where before they put in the big door on the front, essentially closing in the whole top floor, we might as well crane the jib in through that front door so that by the time we're ready for jib, we don't have to lug it all up the stairs.
Now that's thinking ahead.
Efficiency.
It's not just efficiency, it's like, imagine them manhandling this.
I know, well, you would probably lose sheets of jib trying to get round corners and stuff.
Well, and the other crazy thing is most people are just like busy building, and then they're like, oh shit, now I've closed up the giant opening that I could have put those things in. Let's chat to one of the apprentices on site about his experience on our other build up there.
Hi, my name is Peyton. I am a first year carpenter apprentice. Update from last time you guys were with us. We've braced the frames, wrapped the house, put some cavity bed and inverter bed on for our cladding, and chucked the Rondo in. This morning we got the windows and doors delivered, so we chucked those in, and we're going to shoot some heights today for our windows. We've got cladding on site. Once we shoot the heights, when there's good weather, we'll be able to start cladding the build.
On this build here, we're using two different types of James Hardie cladding. We've got the Stria and the linear oblique.
Crazy, because it may seem like a real small thing, but seeing trucks drive up their driveway is so exciting. More cladding.
The plumbers have passed their pre-line building inspection. Good work, boys. This means the pipes are holding water under pressure, no leaks, good to line the walls. Hey, it's cool how they're using red and black as well. That's the first time I've seen that.
Red and blue.
Yeah, red and blue.
Do you know your colours?
No, I'm colourblind. At the moment we put a roof on, we can put the Rondo up, and the Rondo sets the height for the internal ceilings. We use Rondo because it moves independently from the timber trusses, gives you a mint clean ceiling. There's nothing worse than coming back to a house a year later and all of the jib screws have popped on the timber batting. With the Rondo in place, that means that the Sparky and the plumber can come and do their bits, pre-wire, pre-plumb. Nicole and the client and the Sparky and the plumber have done a walkthrough, and everyone's agreed on where everything internally is going.
Yeah, and that's really important because sometimes you have an idea in your head, or even it's on the plans, that we're going to put a toilet here and we're going to put a heated towel rail here. And it doesn't actually make sense in reality.
And this is the perfect time to catch it. What you're real good at is fast forwarding, kind of like Dwayne thought ahead with the jib. You're real good at thinking ahead about some of those touches and capturing it now. Because believe it or not, when you're building the house, there's so many things going on. And even with the best intentions, it's always like, I'll sort that out later. And often those later jobs get missed, and that's why we need a Nicole.
Well, sometimes you don't even realise that it has to be sorted at this stage. Like, it's really hard sometimes to think about a towel rail placement when it's just framing. But it's like the electrician now wants to put his wiring in the wall, so he has to know where it's going to go. And that's just trying to get people thinking that far ahead, that we only know because we've built 70 homes.
Yeah, we've learned this all the hard way.
Yeah, we've learned this from trial and error.
The clients purchased this land 6 years ago. So if we extrapolate the timeline out even more, 5 years of planning and consents.
They had 3 different versions of house here as well.
Yeah, with 2 different architects or 3 different architects.
Yeah, so you feel for them too. You know that it must be exciting for them to finally be able to walk a house, and that's what I love. Welcome to my crib. You remember MTV Cribs?
MTV Cribs, let's go.
So this is the massive cavity slider that goes, and that is the huge opening that's going to go out to their main outdoor living deck area, and that's their view, which is epic. It's so nice. It's also an upper hut, just like our build, but is a completely different angle. We're like up the valley that way and are looking at that. They're kind of looking at these hills. What are these hills called, Josh?
Well, that's a good, it's Cannon Point.
That's Ekatera.
That's Ekatera, babe.
That's Ekatera.
Just dialing in what the range of hills is called. It's showing up as Ekatera Forest still.
Oh.
You pointed that way, babe.
I said it.
Rack up a win for Nicole. The thing is, even if I was wrong, she wins. It's awesome that you can see down the river as well.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Huge, big, open plan living, kitchen, dining, scullery down the end.
Yeah, so little scullery there, and then big bar along here, and then back wall is like kind of your washing up, and a window, so while you're doing dishes you can have a view still. And then another outdoor living area, which is really cool, a little covered space.
Even if it's raining, it's protected from the wind.
But you could have a barbecue under there if Wellington weather decides to pack it in the middle of summer. And then, yeah, a little play space for the kids. They're going to have a trampoline up there, and then they want the kids to explore the bush. Off the living, here is a little office, come media room, I think. Got a cupboard, and then in here is a little nook. The client's children both play piano, so this is where the piano is going. So steps there. Coming down the hallway, we have the media room. Media rooms are great for a couple of reasons. They're awesome places to put the kids if they want to watch something you don't want to watch. It's nice that it's not so connected to the living room. I really like that, and we're doing it in our house where it's a chill out space that's not part of the living space. Let's keep going. In here is hot water cupboard, so linen, a hot water cylinder in here, and then shelving on this side. In Upper Hut, I don't know about the rest of New Zealand right now, but gas is becoming really, really hard to connect. It's easy to put pipes in the ground, but connecting to an actual provider is proving more and more difficult. So a lot of people are moving away from gas now. So hot water cylinder inside, and then through here is the laundry. A very important space in a house if you have children, and then door straight out to where their washing line will go. Into here we have the main bathroom. It's a little bit messy right now because we're going to have entry-level showers, so tiled floor and entry-level showers. This has already been cut into the slab, so when the tiles come on to this little area, it will all be flush. Very important note, if you want to tile your house, to put it on the plans. so that we can do this. Coming down the hallway, we have bedroom 1, children's bedroom, built-in wardrobes, and then basically the exact same thing, bedroom 2.
This one's got a cool window.
We're obviously facing the same way as the lounge now, so epic view. This last bedroom is the master. Again, we have the deck will come all the way along, so we have a door going out to the deck, big room, and then massive wardrobe, and then epic ensuite with a huge tiled shower.
If you're loving these videos but you want to know more and specifically want stuff that's going to help you with your building project, jump on our mailing list below. We would love to send you some extra information. For us, or even a tradie on site, it's easy to forget that this has been someone's dream and vision for years and years and years.
This is their forever home. Like they say when we walk around it, like, we're never leaving here. This is like, we're going to be here forever. And that's something special to be a part of, I think.
100%. I mean, you look out that window and you can see why they don't want to leave.
Yeah.
They're not even going to want to go to work. So yeah, that's bringing you up to speed. We're about to do pre-wire. As soon as the external cladding goes on, we're about a third of the way through that. Then we can move on to installation on the inside. We get that inspected by the council. Internal linings, plaster, skirting, paint, boom, it's a house. It's crazy how quick it comes together, eh?
Yeah, so they're, flooring, plumbing fixtures, kitchen, like that's the bit that's exciting to me.
If you're going through this for the very first time, don't put so much pressure on yourself to have it perfect, but also make time to do walkthroughs and think about, you've got to be able to think about when you live here, where's the switch going? Where's the tap going?
How does the door open? Like the section nobody wanted is a classic example of a door opening into a cupboard. So you have to, when you walk in the door, you then have to shut the door to get into the cupboard. And it just doesn't, like, it obviously makes sense on paper, but it doesn't make sense in practice.
There's heaps of things that make sense on paper that when you stand in a physical space.
So I would encourage you on your plans to walk through your house as if you are walking it. Walk in. Where does the door open? What's the door going to hit when it opens? Should it just be a cavity slider? Is there space for a cavity slider? It's like the perfect way to decide about your doors. And then I also do it with windows. Walk into a room, think about how big the window is, if the window needs to be there. We have this weird thing in New Zealand where we put too many windows in. Like it doesn't, in our house on that build up there, I think we have 16 windows, which isn't that many, but they're big windows.
And purposeful.
Yeah.
So you're real good at closing your eyes and visualizing, I'm looking at a window, I'm opening the door. How would you encourage the viewer who's never really had to practice that? How do you make a mental model in your mind? Where do you start?
I start at the front door.
Okay.
And then I decide which way to go. So I'll either turn left or right. In my house right now, I'm always turning left because I think that there's a window that doesn't work. But it is sometimes one of those things that kind of rolls. So we'll get frames up and then it will be like that window I wasn't sure of all along. I need to see what it looks like.
You're almost saying like make a mental movie. Play a movie in your head. So I'm walking down and I open the door and now I'm in the entranceway.
What do I see?
Or, right, I'm laying on my bed and what's on that side and what's on that side.
Yeah, and when I look out that window, what is the view? Because sometimes if the view is at nothing, do you actually need the window there? Is there enough light in the room already that you don't need that second window? Just as much as windows are important, wall space is important. And for some reason in New Zealand, we seem to think that windows are the most important thing. You got to think about the fact that windows are not as efficient. So you will lose heat through them, even though they're double glazed and low E and thermally broken.
Good work. Look at you with the text.
A wall has a better insulation value. So if you can avoid a window, avoid a window.